Okay, I hope everybody can hear me. We will be waiting for a couple of minutes until people start to join, and then we can get along with the content that we have, especially for tonight. Let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. First of all, I would like to welcome all of you for this live event hosted by Digital Impact Academy and presented by blinkminds, which we have the founder here, Nazlı Yenis, together. Before we go along with the presentation that we have, and before I pass the mic to Nazlı, we would like to say condolences, give our condolences. First of all, I would like to welcome, give our condolences to the people who lost their lives in Izmir in earthquake, especially like Nazlı is also originally was born there and raised there, if I'm not wrong. She would like to also say a few words, maybe after I give you the mic. Firstly, I would like to mention about Digital Impact Academy, and then Digital Impact Academy was actually how to say, an initiative by JCI Culture that started a couple of months ago, if I'm not mistaken. And then we've been kept working on the online educations, free, accessible, and impactful online educations, which these people who are working at home, or students, youth, or any like elderly people as well, can join online without any charge at the moment, and can take courses which will make some differences in their lives. And our story actually crossed with blinkminds, as I'm also part of blinkminds as well as a contributor. I thought this partnership will bring a lot of value to both of the organizations. And here we are today to talk about the purpose of the power of purpose, with Nazlı, who is also, to repeat again, the founder of blinkminds. And now, Nazlı, I will pass the mic to you if you would like to introduce yourself first, and then go along as you wish.
Sure. Well, hello everyone. Yes, he's correct. I'm actually originally from Izmir, so it's been a very sad couple of days since we're losing precious lives, and so it's tough time for everyone. But I want to welcome everyone because today we're going to be talking for an easy way to think about your purpose, but also we're going to be focusing on like who we are and what we believe and what we are doing. So it's going to be very interesting activities and also some content to share with you. I'm very excited. I'm also excited to contributing with the Digital DI Academy because their purpose and their mission is also aligned with educating people, which really creating a circle of like education around learning, exploring, and sharing. So I'm very excited to be here. Thank you, Alian.
Thank you so much, Nazlı, for your introduction. Okay, so a little bit of commercials, let's say. So if you feel like you guys would like to receive some online educations, you can always go to Digital Impact Academy's website and join to any courses that you would like. At the moment, we are working on making more powerful contents with a lot of professions around the world. And on the other hand, I will, of course, we will be saying that repeatedly and at the end as well. Also, Blink Minds offering some sort of virtual camps for you to discover yourself and also master your mind. I hope Nazlı will give more details after the presentation, maybe. And then you can go to blinkminds.com and see the services as well that are offered for people at any age, of course, but specifically also for the youth. If you are confused about what to do with your life, that will be the best option. So I would like to give a little anecdote about how we met with Nazlı and how did I became so a contributor to Blink Minds. So as you know, of course you don't know, but I am a recent graduate and I've been struggling to find a job because I was struggling to figure out what do I want to do with my life. And at that point of time, I was also the president of Isaac in Turkey for the term 1920. And that was the time when we met with Nazlı for partnership purposes at the beginning. And then through the way, I started to listen from Nazlı what she had in mind, what she had visioned for Blink Minds. And to be honest, it was a great inspiration for me because firstly, as a young person, as a recent graduate, unemployed graduate, it was hope for me to understand what do I want in my life and to figure out what was my purpose in life. And on the other hand, that was something that I was always eager to contribute to. And then from that point onwards, I started to join Nazlı's team, and we've been working together somehow. And I've been contributing to her work lately, and I'm enjoying it a lot. Thank you so much, Nazlı, for the opportunity as well. So I think these are the things that I could say to describe Digital Impact Academy and Blink Minds. And as we go through the presentation, I hope you will see more common points why this partnership matters and what kind of outcomes that you can get from this education and other educations of both Blink Minds and Digital Impact Academy as well. Okay, I'm receiving updates. Maybe Nazlı, you can
go ahead and
take
start
over.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All the words, Ayan, that just really express, what Blink Minds is doing, and hopefully we're going to be translating our purpose today through the content that I'm going to be sharing. So it's going to be very interactive. So please just join me while I'm actually presenting. So let me present and let's get started. Okay. So I just want to check if everybody can see slides.
Yes, Nazlı, it's visible. You can
Yes,
go.
It is. Okay, perfect. So as I mentioned, hello everyone. So I'm actually calling in from New Jersey. So it's around like 11 a.m. here. So we have 8 hours difference. As I mentioned, I'm from Izmir, and I will be just going through a little bit of my journey, but we're going to be talking basically more basic on the 4 easy way to think about your purpose. So I'm just going to go through agenda. It's very short and sweet. So I'm going to be talking about who I am, what I believe, and what I'm doing, so that you guys get to know like who is talking on the camera, because that's really important. So for easy way to think about your purpose, and we're going to just, like touch base in the self-regard and, like awareness, and we're going to end the presentation. So, so it is important to see, if you can see the connection between who you are, like what you believe and what you're doing, you will have the intention to the right direction. So you're going to see a little bit of more connection, like the more I go forward with my presentation. But that's the really triangle that we're going to be talking about. And that's all life is about: who I am, what I believe, and what I'm doing. So who I am, I won't be talking about my studies, my certification, my education, and so on, but because you can always, reach that through, then I'm going to talk about my childhood. I'm going to talk about, who I am, my strengths, like my personal characteristic, which is very authentic, enthusiastic, result-driven, purposeful, and flexible. And the more you get to know me, the more you will see that I really present these, like strength into my work, into purpose that I really follow every day. So I remember the moments, from my childhood, as I just mentioned, I'm from, Izmir. I spent all my childhood, in Çeşme, agency, spending time on the beach, riding bike, motorcycles, dancing, cooking, traveling, and doing all kinds of, like other things as well. But I also remember, I was a girl who was too shy, lacking the courage to speak in class. I struggled, like express myself. I didn't really feel successful, whatever that meant at that time for me. I didn't also spend much time, with my school studies. Like I would have been considered as a failure back then. And to be honest, um, the reason I'm starting from myself because that's my journey and that's how I come up with my purpose, and that should be a, like really inspiration for all of you. And I don't remember really asking myself, what do I love to do? And today we're going to kind of dive into what do we love to do. And we're going to go through that 4 easy steps to think about or start thinking about our purpose. Instead of, like really asking what I really love to do, maybe some of you it's going to be resonating, right? You're going to be like, yes, I'm actually feeling like that. Instead I followed the rules around education, what teacher thought I could do or not do. I never felt like, sharing my opinion on anything. Uh, People were saying, just like many people are just like reaching out to me, you need to be this, you need to be that. You can't really change your career at 24 years old. You can't really think about it. That's the time that, like you meant to settling down, with your life. You can't really change your career, when you're 30 years old. You should just have figured that out by then, right? Just all the rules and just the society and how we grow up, it always like has an impact on back of our minds. And also I heard people are saying, oh my god, you're not married by 35. What the hell are you doing with your life? Who comes out with this stuff? I always like come to my target audience for you all guys, and just to think about how we are not really asking ourselves what we really love, and we're just really being impacted other people's like thought. So I this plaque, like so many people that I speak to, so many people open up to tell me, like, Nazlı, I just don't know how to change. I hear people saying all the time that I'm so unhappy at work, I'm so unhappy in this relationship, I'm so unhappy. And they're all saying that they're very negative, or, like these things happening because there's a reason behind it. But because that the inner self is calling to identify, like your purpose, your choice in designing your life. And that's why I think I'm here today, to actually just show you a little bit of, like taste of how we can do it. But then when I moved to, US in 1999, so you can always do, I went to University of Kansas, I went to, like a friends, I went to Columbia University and NYU. And if you ask me, did I plan all of these? No, not really. So you can be on 15 years old, you can be 50, it doesn't matter. We all have a fundamental question about what we are doing with our life. So when I moved to US, in 1999, like dreams and families and beach and happy thoughts all went melt away. So I faced a big change. Just like everybody else is just, like facing a big change in their life in a different way. So I didn't know how to navigate, like through the unexpected, like experience. I challenged to rebuild so many things, and the work that really required to skills, new values, and even a new identity. So today, I also want to just, like show you this guy. What do you think this guy was? Became before he became who he is. He was a janitor in a factory. I always show these two slides because it's fascinating when I just get into these really famous people and seeing that what they were doing at some point in their life. What about her? We all know Jennifer. So she was a telemarketer for 2 weeks. So that's really incredible. So today here, like since you're very focused now, then maybe at the end of the presentation, I really want to just, like focus on doing what you love and impacting the world. So what happens in our society right now, we are clouded by a noise. The noise of your family expectation, the noise of our parents and brothers and sisters expectations. So I grew up thinking that I could not do other than what my teachers actually just were saying at that time. So I wasn't really sure about my capacity, like, oh, they're not really good enough to be in a university to be able to just, like be successful, like with what I think I can do. So it's really important to, like hear the story, because I'm telling my story just to show you how I went through this journey myself, going through this, like changes, embracing all the failures, and really understanding, what do I love to do? But it didn't really happen, when I was at your age. So I'm here really try to give, like the world a chance to actually do what they love to do. And it's not something that we're going to go through. It's not something that I love doing this and that's it. It's going to be a commitment. It's going to be a lot of, like action to work on it. Because I started working when I was 16 years old. I put everything behind, all my friends, and everything went dark. So I had the self-confidence, like lack of motivation and the fears, and I thought I could do everything. So I was fearless. People they told me that you cannot do anything with the French degree. You cannot never get the like job. So all these like the story that we all hear every day, it's a story. It's a storytelling that people are telling. So it's really important that we focus here today and really be interactive, because I'm going to be asking you some questions so that we can have a more impact and outcome of this presentation. And the funny thing is, after 15, 20 years, right, passed, and we came to today, that I have started with my website with no capital, no income, to help everyone to be more aware of, like their passion and strength and dream, has been the best decision that I can actually have ever made. It took some time. Like maybe, like 2 to 3 years to work on it, because there's always interruption, right? Day to day, you have interruption, the work and other activities. But the more you dive into really finding out what you are meant to do, we're going to see a lot of, like changes, which I will be talking about. So how I did this, with the growth mindset, I'm just going to just leave you with this slide, just looking at here a little bit more intense, and just to see how it really resonates with the story that I tell you. To really go through, like the challenges and obstacles and efforts, and really getting the lessons and inspiration in the success of others. And that's very important, going forward and trying things and experimenting. So what I believe, like that, they say that it's from B to D, so from birth to death. But what is between B and D is a C. So what is a C is a choice. So our life is a matter of choices. Live well and it will never go wrong. So basically you are here because you actually chose to be here, because the topic was really interesting. You were just wondering who I am, what I do. So, and the inspiration about this, the belief is that I really want you just to make a choice in your life, because purpose exists in everything with you. And I feel like we have two choices in life. We could allow the unexpected or negative aspects to be the curse, or we can turn them to, into blessing. I always find that when I see an experience or as an opportunity, even if it has been considered like the worst obstacle and challenges, but it just like really turns out to be a biggest advantages. And this is how I define leading your growth, like by knowing your true self and be able to identify the failure as part of your experimentation. So and I do believe that 90%, before I show you like a slide, 90% of the game is a half mental at the foundational level. So this picture just means a lot. So I'm going to tell you. So there's a gentleman on the horse, as you can see it, right? So barely holding to the horse. So one of the town people that sees him yells at him, "Where are you going?" And man says, "I don't know. Ask the horse." That's exactly how I was on the horse. So I was that person on the horse. I was just, like really letting horse to actually just guide me wherever I can go. So sometimes, like we are like this in our life, we have actions and emotions and thoughts that are dictated by the horse, by society, by people, whatever that object is. So I don't know why I'm acting this way, that's the horse that is just guiding at this time. So as a foundational, it's very important that you are mindful. So you are mindful where I am right now, what I do. So it comes with the self-awareness. And sometimes people are asking me, can I get some leadership skills, that, like I can develop, to be successful? I really stopped them because, I've been in HR, for 15 years. I really think that it really starts with the mindful. Just make sure that, where you're going with the horse. At least you're aware of where you are, and that's the kind of starts with the mindfulness and being mindful. And it's not really about taking a mindfulness class. I don't want you to just like, oh, I want to take a mindfulness class and I will be able to find out and be happy and dream about what I love. That's not what I'm saying. It's really important about like a self-awareness and building that motivation and empathy and and leading yourself. What I am doing, so I talked about who I am, what I believe, and what I'm doing is with a long time and passion about the self-development to grow and thrive. I really was inspired to create a place from everywhere people can join at any time in their life to explore, experiment, learn, and develop together. What makes it blinkminds is unique from the camps that I'm going to be talking about at the end is that once you are in blinkminds, you are in that group for many different projects, like being part of the, like a contributor with blinkminds. So it's not just the one workshop that you go and then, like the connection ends. So it's a little bit more into going through the journey with you, and the blinkminds, like will be there. And how I came up with this, going through as I was speaking, actually, like about my experience around the world, I see that people are increasing the level of stress and fear of failure. People deeply, like want to find what they like to do and learn how to grow and succeed. And also they are desperate to, like understand organizational realities and exist within them in a way that they can feel alive. And also, like the first thing they just think, okay, I graduated, I just need to be in a corporate world. So, and then just going through all these stages of, like unhappiness. And I'm just trying to stop them before or early career in the professional and ask them to come to blinkminds and be able to see which direction, which intention they have so we can direct ourselves together. What I learned is also throughout my journey that the most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. And I hope that you're going to be willing to find out like why, because that is going to affect so many ways of interacting with each other. So I just want to actually share this. If you can actually use your phone, and you can just like scan it and just answer what is success for you, just with 1 or 2 words. Can you just do that for me? It should be very easy with your phone, and please let me know if it doesn't work. And I want you to just keep that word in mind because we're going to be seeing some answers right now. So I hope that works. Let me know if it doesn't work. You can just scan it your phone. Okay, very quickly, just the one word that can come to your mind. Okay, we have one victory. So only one person? Okay, we're gonna pick on that person now. We're gonna be just, make that person talk. So, but keep in mind, if you don't want to just, like, if you don't know how to express it, just think about, like what success is for you. And because we're gonna be just touching base in this area. So. Okay. So I want to talk about, the power of you and your purpose, and I want to talk about this 4 area that actually oh, okay. Okay, so what you can also do, I just see that, maybe it didn't work with your phone, like about success, you can always, like type it, like in the chat. And if you want to talk at the end, or if you want to just, it's just for you more than, like myself or anybody else, like thinking about, what success is. And keep that in mind and write it, like somewhere very quickly. But you can also just, like write it through the chat if you can. So when we think about the purpose, as I said, for easy way to think about it, and one is, what you enjoy, what you are good at, and what you get paid for or would like to get paid for, and what the world needs. And we're gonna get into a little bit of detail, like about these 4 steps, and so that you have an idea about what I mean by what you enjoy, and so on, the other parts of the steps. So how the power of purpose, creates change. So just following these, like 4 steps into my camp, I really just see a lot of different changes that the people that I work, like individually or as a team, I do see that change impact on the less stress, anxiety. They do have a better quality relationship with themselves and others, because really just, like starting from the foundational, from that person, like on the horse, and really understanding who they are, really help them with their relationship. Enhanced decision making, especially, it's very important for most of you guys on the call, and for most of us, every day. Greater creativity, increased engagement, and you also accomplish goals that seems out of your reach. So when you get into these exercise, like through the camp, in which we are going to do a little bit of here, so that you have a little bit of understanding what that looks like, you have kind of come to understanding that, okay, I have this dream, I have this, strength, I really enjoy doing this, so I'm not really that far away. So it's really just becoming that, what we call it most of the time, aha moment, I really can do this. And let go of the fear and beliefs and habits that hold you back. And that's very important. So it's really, you're coming to have more empowering beliefs. So the 4 ways of thinking about your purpose. So I want to just, I won't be able to see you, but, if you guys can close your eyes, okay, and you don't have to, but if you can close, it's going to be a little bit much easier to think about when you were 5 or 6 years old. Okay, if you can go back for 2-3 seconds, what did you love doing when you were a kid? What was the moment that it actually gave you the whole energy that you did not know how the time goes by? What filled you with the energy? What are some of the other things that you really enjoy that you never actually thought about it until today? Now move on a little bit more further when you were a teenager. What are some other aspects of your life that brings you joy, excitement, that energize you? What are some of the things that it really makes you happy that you haven't done for a while? So happiness, and I want you to just, keep that thought, because those are the ones that are going to be coming out of your strengths, your activities that just fills you with the energy. The happiness, how everybody is saying that I want to be happy. So best of the happiness is really fulfillment. And when you close your eyes, when you go back when you're 5 and 6 years old, that you never thought that you actually could do, it just really brings some of the activities and strength today to actually discover your strengths and your purpose. The best of form, as I said, is fulfillment. And this is what is really truly engages you. The condition, the size of your apartment, the size of your car, if you have a car, it's only 10%. And really the 40% is really just, coming from your purpose, from your energy, and what fills you with energy. And the strength, not the skills. The skills and talents is different. That's what you're good at, which we're going to come into it. But the strengths that actually that you are, like, it really describes who you truly are. We are all being told that focus on our weaknesses, right? Even with HR world, or in the corporate world, or like from schools, we always want to work on our weaknesses to be successful in the interview and with what we do. But what I'm telling you today is to really focus on what we used to love and what we exactly like really love doing it as an activity and energize us today. So that's why I really want you to just like activity if you haven't done it now, but I really want you to just go back to your childhood. And when you are when you're feeling with the energy, you also understand your values. And when you understand those values, those are your strengths. Those are the strengths that you can actually bring to the table. The second one is like what you're good at, right? So what am I good at? My talents, my key abilities that comes naturally to me. So you might be very talented a singer. You might have a very good voice. Not necessarily you are going to be a good singer or you are going to choose to be a singer. So it's very important just to understand what your talents that comes naturally to you, that is combines, with your strength and what you are meant to do. So most of the time when we are in the organization, when we are in a corporate organization, or when we are at school, thinking about what are some of the skills, soft skills and hard skills that I need to build. But I am saying that it just doesn't really come in hand. It doesn't really sustainable. It doesn't really consistent throughout your career if you doesn't really match what your strengths are or what really gives you energy. So, and also others tells me that I'm good at. It's always good to just, like have that growth mindset and just really getting some feedback from other people. So some of our activities really involves, like about key talents and abilities that actually comes naturally to you with some of the exercise that we do at the camp. Then we move to, what you get paid for. So this is very important because everybody most of the time skips this part, even this part, because they think that corporate, like we'll get some trainings or you're going to do, like online training right now and you're going to be able to figure this out. And they just jump here. So that's why there's, like 4 ways of thinking of your purpose. It's very important not to jump here right away and ask your question, why do you work? What defines work and work well work? And what does money have to do with it? It's very important to think about this because that is naturally comes, with all the things that you enjoy doing it. And also, this is also important to just have the balance and the compass. I told you about your intention is your direction. So if you are thinking about, work view and life view, and these workshops and the work that I do, it just kind of combines both so that you kind of, like go through these, like steps very easily. And the fourth one is what the world needs. What are some of the impacts of the work that you do? What are the things that you actually do today that is going to impact the world? The world of one little country, the world of one little group, doesn't matter. It is, important. When I came up with this idea of, launching my website, I even thought, if I just reach out to one person that have an impact in their life, that's a gain for me. And that's exactly how the thinking process and the energy comes along, when you're actually following what you're meant to do. And why do you do what to do? It's always, like I ask, people, even some people they're just, like asking, like, I don't know what I do, or I don't know why I actually chose this major. It doesn't really just, relate or resonate with the things that I really want to do in life. And then the third one is important because what would you like to be remembered for? I mean, we don't have to be an Einstein. We don't have to be a Steve Jobs or Oprah or, any other, icons or, leaders that actually change the world. We can actually be remembered for many things that we can actually do. We go through this journey. So it's very important to just to keep that in mind. And especially when you do this, like exercise, with me, when I do it, I also go through different steps of your success. And that's what I actually just ask you to think about your success, because it's really just, like kind of, like put you here and make sure that you spend some time here. with the exercise so that you can actually jump here, even if you don't know what kind of skills, like you need to be able to get paid, you're still, like following what you really want to do, or what you are actually, your strengths are telling you. So this is, like for easy way to think about your purpose. But what the magic happens, if we do go through that 4 ways of, like thinking about purpose, is this is where you are. At the end of the day, I always, tell people, blink minds is not really telling you to dream about something and then stop and not do anything. Okay, I dream about this. This is what I love, but it needs a very commitment. That's very, very important. We're going to get into that step or stage where we can do, with some of the action and commitment that is going to change for each of us. So we're not going to be determining that today, but that also part of, like the workshop that we always do, or at least, like what I really want to address, with people that I work with. Because when you know who you are, basically, everything that I talk to, who I am and how I found that, and the journey to find that, and your life purpose, and even if, you don't want to say purpose, you're just, like why you do what you do, pretty much. And the right work culture is going to lead you to growth and success. So whatever that you actually thought about or wrote, I only saw victory, maybe because the phone didn't work. It is going to lead you to victory, but it's going to be your victory. It's going to be the one that you chose. And that's exactly where the magic happens. So it's very important to have that hope and keep that hope through this process. So I don't know if you had, right now it's going to work with your phone. I don't know how the QR code works. It worked before, so that's what I put it there. But again, you can use your chat, or you can actually think about it. That's also important. If you had all the time and the money in the world, what would you do? So think about all the steps that I just showed you. The 4 steps is actually the easy way to think about what you're meant to do. But before even you go there, and if you didn't have any concern about the time and money, what would you do? And this is very fascinating. I heard a lot of people saying, I will travel, I will do research, I will go to Amazon, and take a picture, and so many different things that people were telling me this. But it's very important for you to just understand, how much of dreams, or how much of, like strength that you can bring it to life to think about it. So I'm going to say if it works again. If it doesn't, again, it's just something for you to think about it. And that's part of, like exercise that I do to make sure that, we are preparing our journey to have a draft of, like purpose statement, for our journey. So I'm going to see if it works. Maybe it doesn't for now. Okay, that's okay. So, I mean, at the end, if you guys want to just talk, or again, if you can always reach out to me, I will just, like give you my my email address. But, now that we understand, kind of a triangle, right? Who I am, what I believe, and what I'm doing, and then the journey, the 4 easy steps of thinking about purpose. And then, I really want you guys to fail. It sounds interesting, but I think part of the success that, or, like the energy that, gets me where I am today is really the failure. It's just the raw material for success. It's really important, like how you fail. Not all failure are alike. So there is a lot of, like a different way of, like failing. So you can actually, like a screw up. You can just, like tell as a weakness. You can see as a growth opportunity. And you can also see as an insight. So when you screw up, it's just, like really simple mistake that you make that you normally get right. So you don't have to be fear, as long as you know what kind of failure you are, or, what kind of, mistake you have done. So you don't need to learn anything new. You just need to apologize and just need to move on. So it's also important to be aware of, that you made a mistake. That also just, like just moves away, like those, like emotional triggers and the fear and stress, and that really helps. And the weakness, mistakes that you make over and over again because of your evident, shortcomings. Your best strategy is to avoid the situation to prompt them, So it is very important that when you have the weaknesses here, you can actually work on that and be aware of those weaknesses, right? So as long as you have the strength, you have the weaknesses, we all do. And we can just turn that into growth opportunity. If we can identify the cause, what the cause is, what the root cause is, and then just be able to, have that available solution for us. And we want to just, direct our attention, for this type of failure, because then we can have a growth mindset, as I mentioned, and we can just find that opportunity instead of just saying that, oh, I failed. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I failed, but I'm going to learn. And the insights and lessons that you learn from a real improvement. And I'm going to go and just this very little thing that, I want to share that I sometimes do for myself. It's really failing forward. Unexpected, like a meeting presentation, it happened. So I found it, as a growth opportunity. And I said, okay, start the call with a needs and agenda. So I took a note. I said, okay, these kind of things might happen and you might fail, but how can you protect us? So miss one important milestone for my project. Well, I screw up, right? So I need to say, I apologize. This is not something that I usually do because that's exactly what I love doing, and mistakes happen. So you just need to move on and make sure that you check your milestones. The more your awareness comes into your purpose and understanding those steps of, why you do what you do, that the fear, the success, and all these emotional triggers are going to be just fading away. And those changes that I show you how the purpose of these workshops is really having an impact in people's life. It's phenomenal. It's really something that you can actually see from white to black. So self-regard is largely an awareness skills. Like as I just looking at myself, objectively, honestly, is the major step is the self-improvement. Knowing your strengths, growth area, is largely about yourself and how much, how much of you is actually want to get up from this, presentation, from this call, and wonder how you can go back to your childhood or really find out these 4 easy steps to kind of follow your dreams, but also just, have the commitment to do it and understand what you want to do. And in order to do that, I kind of love this. And this is exactly what, I'm doing with my son as well. He's 7 years old. And it is a very, very important growth mindset that you are actually putting effort to. It's very emphasizing that. So that's why the earlier you start, it's going to be much easier to actually work those muscles, right? So if you say, I'm not good at this yet, so that means there's an opportunity there. But it's important thing is just to say it. And how can you say it? You just need to actually discover yourself and who you are. And that's exactly why blinkminds is here. That's exactly why I'm actually having this global platform for everyone around the world to actually come in and really, discover their self-regards and awareness. And the second one is I haven't done this yet. So that's an opportunity. I'm not good at this yet, or I haven't done this yet. And I also get some questions from people around the world and just, asking, so what if, I find my strengths, but I'm not really good at it, and how can I just build those, strengths? So if those are the activities or just, through the, workshop, I tell people that those are the activities that gives you energy and you keep doing it, it's going to come naturally. Because as I said before, in back of our mind, and especially our society or, the cloud that we are in, like even social media, everything that is telling us about our weaknesses, about what we need to be resilient for, what we don't need to do. So it's very important to actually find that out to be able to have that, awareness. So it's really helpful. I haven't done this yet. So if you can think about this too, it's going to give you a lot of opportunity. So I don't want you to think about, I cannot do this, yes, I can, because I am going to go through this, for easy step. I am going to work on the things that I actually lead my team one day or my company one day, whatever that your passion is. And the passion is another thing that I want to mention. I see people are saying that, oh my God, I don't have a purpose. What am I going to do? How am I going to live? I don't have any passion. I don't have any hobby. Well, it's going to change, right? It's going to be becoming a little bit more conquer and a little bit more strict, like when you start just building your awareness into the workplaces, if you're going to be in a corporate world, you're going to be building those skills into that foundational self-awareness. And then you're going to be just seeing how the passion is going to be following you after finding your purpose or what you're meant to do. And the second thing is that my best qualities. Sometimes, like we're being shy and we're just not really telling people what we are good at or what our best qualities. But we do have best qualities. That's what I wanted to show you guys when I talk about who I am. I'm very enthusiastic. I'm very authentic. I am very flexible. So I help people to actually get that out of their, I guess, their characteristic traits. That's very important because that's who you are. And another one that, it's, I love this wheel because it really keeps me on track as well. If you're designing your life, which is very easy with some of the exercise that I showed you, and it's very important that designers, if you're designing your life, you're a designer, let's say, that designers don't spin the wheel dreaming about what could have happened. They don't waste time, like a waste futures by hoping for the better past. So today I'm just asking you, if you can just think of, 3 ways that you can actually commit to getting off the hamster wheel, and choosing the happiness instead. That 40%, it's very important. Another 50%, by the way, comes from genetic. It really comes from, with your DNA. And then, like 40% that, we can actually work on it. And all the psychologists, all the research is telling us that 95% of the world, they think that they're self-aware. So these exercises seem to be very easy to ask. Okay, close your eyes, go back to, like 5, 6 years old, but it actually has more deep understanding and feeling and really eye-opening moments, with the people that I work with. So my list, that is actually combines all the things I try to tell you today is that the world needs you to be you. And I always tell people it's not who you are, it's who you are, it's not like who you should be. So know what's important. Know what's important for you. Pursue your passion. I believe everybody should pursue their passion in life, even if it changes. And when you discover your life purpose, your compass, which your intention is, it always comes with the direction. Be self-aware and focus. And spend money on people more than things. And that's why I always say invest in your passion, invest in yourself, and live with your compassion and find a way to give back. And that's one of the, like a 4th circle. It says, what the world needs. And that's very important. Simplify your life, because at the end of the day, maybe you will remember, like it's from B to D, from birth to death, but there's a C in between. So today I want you to choose your life to be able to simplify and be aware of it, and set daily goals. Just like, the hamster wheel, if you don't set it, then your dreams or your plan or whatever that you find about yourself and strengths is just really fades away. That's why it really takes time. So when people, like say, oh, I need to find my purpose, but it's not like, you need to find your car where you park, it's not an object. It's just really spending time with you. And I really think that this starts, in an earlier age. And that's very important. That's what I said. I do some of the exercises with my son, and where he says, I'm not good at this yet. So that's an opportunity and growth opportunity. So if you can think of the success, answer, your answer, and then what you would do with your time, free time and free money. I don't want you to aim for success. I don't want you to aim for a victory. I want you to aim for you to find yourself, which will lead you to victory. Because just do what you love and believe in it, and it will come naturally. I have a lot of stories that is real. People are just working in, consultant firm as an analyst. And then, after going through this, exercise and, going through this awareness cycle, they become filmmaker. And it is fascinating to see people who are in psychology and moving to interior design. They're not really leaving their profession, but they're switching. And then they see all these changes on the mindfulness and even the way that they breathe day to day. They wake up in the morning more motivated than they ever been in their life. So rethink your answer about success and redesign your life with purpose. Success is not about being the best. It's always getting better. So I'm not good at yet, or my strengths are this, or I want to be this. These are the things that are more focused on your inner core than what the society is being asked for you to do. And with that being said, I think I'm on time. So I have this information for you. So we have a boot camp coming on. So we have one this weekend, but the registration is closed. And then the other one is December 12th and 13th. It's online, and that's the time. It's actually Eastern time. I forgot to write it. So it's New York time. So it's going to be your 4 p.m. For Turkey time, it's 4 p.m. And if you're interested, email me. You can email me for any interested topic. And if you want to be in touch with me, you can always email. That's my email address. That's Instagram if you want to follow our activities and, like a camps going forward. And if you email me, if you're interested for December, we're starting this early bird special for 15% discount. And if you want my background and if you want to connect with me, and that's LinkedIn, and probably that QR code is not going to work. So you can just find me, through my first name and last name. We're also going to be doing after December. So it's going to be every month, and we're going to have different webinars, like free webinar in between. And with that being said, I hope I will have some time for comments or questions. And I want to say that thanks for coming. Actually, my son did this part of the presentation. I have to say, because this is very animated. Thank you so much. Alian, you're there. So I would love to hear any comments or, questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your lovely presentation, Nazlı. I bet it inspired a lot of people. We had many viewers actually along the way. But actually, I forgot to tell you at the beginning that YouTube Live was coming like 10 to 15 seconds behind, So while you were trying to focus on Menti, you were going back to the other section. I'm so sorry, it's my bad. I forgot to update you about that. But I'm sure people will reach you for further topics. Let me check our chat box if we have any other comments. We have many comments since people couldn't reach through Menti. They started to comment it on YouTube. And people took note of all the presentation. Thank you so much. And I think we don't have any specific questions at the moment. So we can call it today. And I just want to present all the thank yous that we received from the comments and in the private chats as well. Thank you so much, Nazlı. And on behalf of Digital Academy to you, and on behalf of blinkminds to Digital Academy, let's say,
thank you.
And I just
thank
hope
you
that
very much.
This education was impactful and powerful for the people who watched that. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And they can reach